Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Today's lesson is going to have you practicing your reading and also your reading comprehension. All right, so it's time for us to go ahead and begin our lesson. Please come on in and join me in the Hangout. Good morning and welcome to class. How are you doing today?
Hello, teacher. Good afternoon in Spain.
You're already at afternoon.
Yes, I've just finished to have lunch.
Hey, so what did you
Yes.
have for lunch?
Um, some steak
Mm-hmm.
and beans in salad. White beans.
White beans.
Yes,
So
it's
tell me,
very it's very
tell me about that salad.
refreshing in summer.
Is it a cold salad?
No, beans.
Oh, so they're warm.
Bean
Uh-huh.
bean, but
Hmm.
in a cold salad.
Yes, a cold salad.
Yes, and
So,
peppers,
uh-huh.
onion, olive oil,
Mm-hmm.
vinegar.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that sounds delightful.
Mm,
It actually caught my attention because I was telling my mother recently that I made some white beans, but I prepared them the same way that I prepare my garbanzo beans.
mm-hmm,
With pork, and I seasoned the meat and left it in the slow cooker.
mm-hmm.
But apparently, the white beans don't take as long to cook as the black beans or red beans, so they were a little soft.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yes,
and so it didn't really turn out the way that I wanted it to. But this is a really good idea that you've given me for white bean salad. I'll have to
yes,
try that.
yes. You made it the previous day, and it's all night in olive oil and vinegar,
Mhm.
and onion and peppers. It's
Mhm.
very refreshing. I like it.
Okay. So you don't add anything like tomatoes or cucumbers or anything like that with to it?
You could you could add it.
Mhm. Okay. All right, that sounds good. You've given me a really good idea. Sometimes I don't feel like having a heavy meal, especially when it's hot in the summertime.
Hmm.
So it's really nice to be able to have some different options.
Yes.
Good. Well, very good. Now, did you bring your lunch to work with you, or did you buy your lunch?
No, I am in my house with my
Ah, you're
family.
at home. Ah,
Yes.
okay. Okay. Ah, very good. Very good. Okay, well, good. Danielle, thank you so much for being here in class with us
You're
today.
welcome.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and let's welcome your classmate. Um, great. Looks like my Hangout's not responding. All right, sorry about that. There seems to be some problem with the Hangout. Can everyone still hear me okay?
Yes, I hear you and I watch you.
Okay, very good. All right, so let me welcome your classmate. I can't hover over the Rubik's Cube to to see your name, so I'm sorry about that. How are you doing today?
My name is Victor. Hi, Carissa. I'm
I'm
fine,
sorry.
thank you.
Say,
Victor.
oh, yes, Victor. Hello.
Hi, Carissa. How do you do?
I'm doing pretty good today. It's been a very interesting morning for technical difficulties, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good. I think with every difficulty, I'm learning a lot more about computers and about how to resolve those issues. So that I think that's a very good thing. All right. So Victor, now tell me, what time is it where you live right now?
It's 5 p.m.
5 p.m. So have you eaten dinner yet?
Not yet. I'm getting ready to eat dinner.
What time do you usually eat dinner?
It depends. Sometimes it depends on the verbing schedule.
Oh, really?
I will eat after your class.
Ah, okay. Okay, so what are you having for dinner tonight?
I don't know. Oh no, I remember. It's homemade pizza.
Oh, that sounds nice. Are you making the pizza or is someone else making it for you?
It's made by my wife.
Ah, okay. So tell us about the homemade pizza. Describe it for us, to
It
us.
contains cheese, sausage, what else? Paper, mushrooms, and my wife did kind of big pieces. Not usual like a plate, but giant pizzas.
Okay. Oh, that sounds really nice. You got large slices of pizza.
Yeah.
Does she use a red tomato sauce or does she use a white sauce?
Yeah, we use red tomato sauce.
Oh, tomato sauce. Yeah. Good. Now tell us, yeah, Daniel made a good point. He says the secret of a good pizza is getting the dough right. Tell us about the crust of your pizza. Is it a thin crust or a thick crust pizza?
Sorry, I'm not good at kitchen. I just know about size and about what I will eat, but I don't know recipe.
Ah, okay. All right. But when you look at the pizza, is the crust thin pizza? Thin crust, or is it a thicker crust? What does she usually make?
Uh, Sorry, I don't understand.
Okay. The part that's the bread of the pizza, the bottom part of the
Okay.
pizza, that's called the crust. So my question is it a thin crust like this, or is it a thicker crust? Is it a little bit bigger?
What it
Thin.
means, crust?
The crust means the bread part of the pizza.
Crust. Okay.
Crust. And I'm going to type it here in the chat box for you.
Okay.
Crust. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, we have thin one.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Thin crust.
Ah, thin crust. Okay. All right, thin crust. That sounds good. Um, I'm gonna go back to Danielle. Danielle, what kind of crust do you like? Do you like the thin crust or do you like a thicker crust?
I like thin crust.
Thin crust.
Um, 2 or 3 ingredients only.
Mm-hmm.
And the better pizza for me is only with tomato sauce and the species called oregano.
Yes, oregano is very
Uh,
good.
yes,
Okay.
oregano and tomato
Oregano and
and,
tomatoes.
and olive oil.
You definitely like olive oil.
Yes, I have three olive. I have trees, olive trees in my town.
Really?
Yes.
Ah, that's pretty interesting.
Yes, in December in winter we we pick the olives from
Uh,
the tree
uh-huh.
and then we carry them in a factory and
Mm-hmm.
then we have our own our own olive oil.
Oh, that's beautiful. Now, do you have extra virgin olive oil or just virgin olive oil?
Extra butter.
Extra.
5 euros liter.
5 euros a
Cost.
liter. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. Oh, that's expensive.
If you want to buy it
Mm-hmm.
in my town,
Ah, okay. Wow,
for
that's
me free.
expensive. Okay. All right. Well, good. So we've gotten some interesting facts about olive oil and its production. Very good, guys. This is a very good warm-up session. All right. I'm going to go ahead and welcome Espartaco to class. Hello, Espartaco. How are you doing
Hello,
today?
how are you? I'm fine, thanks.
I'm doing good. So what do you think about our olive oil conversation?
I prefer thin crust.
You like thin crust pizza as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now, how do you like your pizza? What do you like on your pizza?
What? Sorry?
What do you like? What ingredients do you like on your pizza
Oh,
or what toppings?
all of them.
All of them?
Yeah. Pepperoni, chicken, barbac barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of them. I love the food. The food.
Okay. All right.
Actually, right now I am cooking. Not pizza. I am cooking beans with
Mm-hmm.
pork. So that's it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Very good. Well, it's a shame you can't share the food with us. Yes. Well, maybe after class. For me, it's still morning. I had a very early class this morning at 5 a.m. and now it's 9 o'clock. So right after this class, I'm going to formally have breakfast. I may be sipping a little coffee. Okay, very good. Let's also welcome Arthur. Arthur, welcome to class. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Now, all this talk about food, Arthur, are you hungry?
A little bit.
Yeah. Well, interestingly enough, our topic today is not food, but food is always a good topic, I think. Maybe that'll be a topic for a future lesson, how to prepare one of your favorite dishes. Maybe we'll do a topic on that.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
And then that way everybody can use their webcam and you can show us how to prepare your favorite dish. I think we'll definitely do that. Yeah. All right, good. And let's also welcome Hussein. Welcome to class. Welcome back. How are you today?
Thank you, Karisha. I'm doing very well, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing good. Doing pretty good today. All right, guys, very good. Well, let's go ahead since we're all warmed up. As you can see, today we're going to do reading practice and comprehension. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I checked today's headlines in the newspaper to see if I could find some articles that we could look at, and I don't know. I'm not that happy with the headlines today, so I chose some other articles that will definitely give you some exercise with reading. I think it's a medium level reading. I have 3 articles. So what we'll do is read through these articles and we'll talk about the main ideas. We'll ask a few questions about them. This time, one thing that I'm going to add is I'm going to have you all ask each other questions about the reading. Okay, so then that way it'll help me to see how well you understood the reading and how well you form your questions and answer questions. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into our material. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do a screen share. Here's some articles that I found particularly interesting. You get a little bit of science with them, and you get to learn a little bit more about nature. So I'm not sure if we have any nature lovers here, but today we're going to learn some very interesting things about 3 little insects. Okay, so very good. So here in our picture, first of all, let's just describe what you see here in the picture. So I'm going to ask you, Victor. Victor, can you describe what you see here in the picture?
A spider
Mm-hmm.
is on its web.
Yeah, very good. What do you notice about the position of the spider? Is he right side up or is he upside down?
It's upside down, yeah.
Okay, now that's interesting. Now I can't do that. If I were to try to be on top of my ceiling and I was upside down, I don't think I would be there for very long. All right, so this house spider has got a sticky secret, and we're going to find out what that sticky secret is. All right, so let's talk about this spider. Okay, so Victor, since you have the microphone, can you go ahead and start the reading for us? Just read that first paragraph for us.
The American house spider, Parastetuda tepidariorium, produces a web with adhesion that can be strong enough to stick to a wall or weak enough to detach from the ground and thus act as a spring-loaded trap for walking prey. How does the spider produce both strong and weak?
And you can continue down at the
Yeah.
bottom.
Weak anchors for its web with a single type of glue.
Okay, all right. Let's stop there just for a second. Okay, all right. So, Victor, I'd like you to think of a question that you can ask about this first paragraph, and I'd like you to ask Danielle a question based upon the first paragraph. What question can you think of, Victor?
How is it name of that insect?
Latin name,
No, English name.
spider, American spider.
Okay, all right. Now, okay, good. So you got the answer to your question. Okay, so you said, how is the name of the spider? All right, now, I want you to take a look at this question. Okay, we need to make one change in your question. Okay, and it's your question word. There you go, Arthur. Okay, so you want to ask, what is the name of the spider in this article?
Parasteatoda tepidariorum. No?
I'm sorry, say again?
Parasteatoda tepidariorum.
Yeah, it's good. So you can say the Latin name. That's right. Good. Very good. You know, it's interesting. I actually took Latin for 4 years. I should be able to really remember to pronounce these words. This is true. Okay, very good. Excellent question. Okay, and let's see. Espartaco. Espartaco, what is the main idea of this first paragraph? What do you think is the main idea?
Mm, for hunter the insects.
I'm sorry, please repeat what you said.
It's for hunter the insects.
Okay, so how the spider hunts other insects. Okay. All right. Now, what does the first paragraph tell us about that? How does the spider hunt insects?
Yes. I don't know.
Okay. All right, let's make this a free-for-all. Can someone tell me, according to the first paragraph, what does the spider do? How does it hunt insects?
He made a web.
Right. It makes a web. That's right. Okay.
Makes a web.
Uh-huh. All right, so it makes a trap. Okay. Now look at the part where it says, okay, it says that it's able to produce two types of web. Okay, can someone tell me about those? What two characteristics does this web have?
Strong enough and weak enough.
Right, it's strong. All right, so what can it do when the web is strong? What does it allow the spider to do?
To catch some insects.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Okay, and I'm going to highlight a part of the text, and this is a key part. So I'm going to oh, well, not that color. Let's see, let's try a different color. Yeah, okay, there's the color in blue. Okay, so tell me again, it says it produces a web with adhesion that's strong enough to do what? What is it able to do?
Stick to a wall.
To stick to a wall. Okay, and that's why in the first picture, okay, we don't see what's above the spider. Okay, but let's assume that he's sticking to the wall. All right, so the web is strong enough to hold its body weight. All right, now when for example, there's an insect on the floor, like an ant, all right, what is the spider able to do now with its web?
To catch his food.
Good. So I'm going to highlight a portion right here. Take a look at that part. Okay, it says it acts as a spring-loaded trap for a walking prey. Okay, so when you see that word, a spring-loaded trap, what comes to your mind? What do you think of? Okay, so imagine a little ant walking across the floor, and what happens when it gets to the web? Okay, think of a trap, something that catches.
For catch suddenly with your trap your prey.
That's it. All of a sudden, when it gets close and it touches it, it acts like a trap. It just catches it, and it won't let it go. Now, I'm not sure if you've ever seen that in your home. I'm one of those people that things like that catch my attention, and I live on a mountainside, so I see this often. There's always lots of spiders. And it's interesting because sometimes the spider is very little, but the ant can be very big. But because its spider web is a spring-loaded trap, the little ant is walking by minding its own business, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, the trap catches it, and it cannot free itself. For as much as it tries and struggles, it cannot break free. All right, so what question are we going to answer in this article? Can anyone tell me? What's the main question here? At the end of the paragraph, you see a question there. What's that question?
How can the spider made that kind of trap?
Very good. All right, now how can
It's
he make?
incredible.
Yeah, how does he do that? Now, it's just one single type of glue that he uses. It's not that he uses super bonder on or super glue for one part and just regular glue for the other part. No, he uses just one type of glue. All right, so let's learn some more about that. That's pretty interesting. All right, very good. So we have Victor read first. Let's have Arthur. Arthur, can you read the next paragraph for us?
Yes. Scaffolding silk. Consider. The spider anchors its web to a wall, a ceiling, or similar surface by weaving highly adhesive patches of silk called scaffolding discs, which are strong enough to withstand the impact of flying prey. Researchers at the University of Akron, Ohio, USA, have discovered that, on the other hand, the patches of silk that are attached to the ground, called gum-foot discs, have an entirely different architecture or construction, with far fewer attachment points than scaffolding discs. Gum-foot discs allow the web to detach with ease and engulf the ground and any prey that was walked into it.
Wow. Now that's pretty interesting. Okay, so Arthur, what do we learn about the spider web? What is it?
Well, it's actually a silk,
Mm-hmm.
and there are two types of silk.
Mm-hmm.
The one that is strong enough, it's scaffolding silk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. And that's right. So there are adhesive patches of silk. All right. Now you mentioned a couple of key vocabulary words here, and I'm going to highlight a couple of them. You mentioned the scaffolding discs. Okay. And the other type of disc, what is the other type of disc called?
Gumfoot.
Yeah, there you go. Gumfoot discs.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Now, how strong are the scaffolding discs? It gives us an interesting detail. How strong are they?
They can withstand the impact of flying prey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. So you can imagine another insect that's flying, and it might be flying very fast, or it might be a very strong insect. Okay, but once it's caught in on that silk or those scaffolding discs, okay, it's like super glue. Okay, it's not able to get out. Now, this is interesting because this little spider and its web has been the object of research. So lots of time and money have gone into researching it. All right, now let's talk a little bit more about the gumfoot discs. All right, the gumfoot silk. All right, let's continue with Hussein. Hussein, please start with the gumfoot silk.
Saying left.
Oh, he did. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry, I navigated away. Let's see. Espartaco, can you go ahead and read for us?
Yes. According to a new release from the University of Akron, the researchers who uncovered this wonder of nature are already working toward developing a synthetic adhesive that mimics this intelligent design strategy employed by the house spider. Scientists hope to create an adhesive that can be used both for common bandages and for treating bone fractures.
Okay, excellent job. Okay, your reading was very good there, Espartaco. Okay, now the one word that I'd like you to practice again is the word adhesive. Okay, so
Adhesive.
there you go, adhesive.
Adhesive.
There you go. You're adhesive. All right, very good. Now, let's see. Espartaco, what can you tell me about this? What can you tell me about the gumfoot silk? Why is it of interest to researchers and scientists?
The most interested, uh, I think, is the scientifics are student student to investigate to do one adhesive is more or less like the spider.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Now, it actually begs the question, are scientists able to make this type of adhesive naturally, like the spider does it? Are they able to do that?
sorry. Could you repeat, please?
Okay, can scientists make this type of adhesive naturally, just like the spider does?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, does anyone else have an opinion on that? Can scientists really make the same type of adhesive silk that the spider does?
Yes, I think
Uh-huh.
I watched on Discovery that scientists put genome from spider to a goat, or no, yes, to a goat, and that goat can produce milk that contains substance from which scientists can extract silk, spider silk.
Ah, okay. All right. So they are trying to do it. What's
Yes.
interesting here in the article is it says that they are already working toward developing a synthetic adhesive. All right, a synthetic one. Okay.
Mm.
But what the spider makes is not synthetic. It's actually natural. And he doesn't think about it. He just spins his web. He knows that which adhesive to use at what time. So I find that very interesting. Now, what will they, once scientists do, or if they're able to make this synthetic adhesive, what will it be used for?
Well, I think mm, in many fields actually, because it's stronger than a steel, so it can be used in military or in construction.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, can you use this technology in your own home? Is there a product that this glue would be useful for in your home?
Mm. Well, I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Check the last sentence. What two products what two uses is mentioned here are mentioned here? Okay. And anyone can answer. Okay, what two uses are mentioned here?
Well, it's more medical, right?
Yeah, more medical for medical uses. Okay, so if you just need a bandage, or if, for example, if you have a bone fracture, imagine if you could use a natural adhesive in order to heal your bone fracture. Okay, that could mean a lot, a cheaper doctor's bill or hospital bill because they don't have to use expensive synthetic adhesives. They may be able to use a natural adhesive if they're able to come up with it. So very interesting. And because it's so strong, then you know that your fracture would heal properly and your bones would not come apart again unless you happen to fall and break it again. Very interesting. All right, very good. Great job, guys, with your reading. All right, let's move on. We're going to talk about another little guy. All right, now I don't know if you have these in your countries. Maybe we can talk about that just briefly. Okay, let's see. Let's see, Victor. Victor, do you have this little bug or this little insect in your country? Are they popular?
I don't know. Maybe we have, maybe no.
Uh,
I have never seen that insects in my
okay,
country.
so you've never seen it. Okay, and what about you, Danielle? Have you seen this little guy in your country?
Yes, in the riverbank, in a little stream. Last last weekend, we saw this insect, and
Mm-hmm.
my son was amazing.
Yeah, children do find these insects, this firefly, very interesting and amazing. I can remember when I was a child in the summertime in Ohio and maybe in other parts of the United States as well, but I'm from Ohio. So in the summertime, there are lots and lots of fireflies, and part of our pastime at night would be to just sit on the porch and watch them. They're amazing. And sometimes we would catch a few of them and put them in a jar and make little lanterns with them. They're very interesting. All right, let me also ask Arthur. Arthur, do you have the fireflies in your country?
I think no, I didn't see them.
Okay, all right. And what about you, Espartaco?
Well, here in London, no, but in Venezuela, I saw a lot of fireflies.
Okay. Yeah, so now that we know what these little guys are, maybe we can start looking out for them. That's one thing that we get after reading interesting information. We start looking out and paying a little bit more attention to these little guys. All right, so let's read about them. Okay, Danielle, I believe it's your turn. Okay, so can you start us off with the reading?
Yes. The lantern of the futurist firefly. The lantern or light organ of a particular futurist firefly is covered with jagged scales that dramatically enhance the brightness of the light that the insect produces.
Okay, excellent. Now, I want to highlight two words that I thought that you read very well, okay? And we talked about this in a previous class, okay? It's how to pronounce words that have an ed ending. Okay, so a particular Photurus firefly is covered, very good, is covered with jagged scales. All right, excellent job. All right, now when it says jagged scales, all right, I want to show you a picture of those jagged scales. Okay, now just looking at this picture, okay, just looking at this picture, you can see the scales. Now, what do you think jagged scales are? Danielle, what do you think they are?
I don't know. I'm lost.
Okay. Looking at this picture, it reminds me of a rooftop. Okay, now some roofs of houses, some
Okay.
do you see that? Does it remind you of a rooftop?
When it rains,
Mm-hmm.
the water uh, slipper on the scales. No?
Okay, good. So you could say that it runs off of the scales. So it runs off of the scales. All right. Now, what's interesting about these jagged scales is it causes something interesting to happen with this insect's light. What happens to the insect's light because of these jagged scales? How do the jagged scales, affect or change the light that the insect produces?
Could be the light get better. It's bright.
That's right. Good. So you're focused on this part here. It dramatically enhances the brightness of the light. Okay. All right. Very good. So it makes the light brighter. Okay. Now let's find out how that happens. What is the secret? Okay. All right. Let's continue. Let's have Vic. I'm sorry.
Maybe.
What'd you say?
Chemist.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it could be. It could be that. It could be that. Well, let's find out by reading the article. All right. Okay, let's go back to Victor. Victor, can you read that first paragraph for me? The second paragraph. Jagged scales.
Consider. Researchers have found that tiny scales on the lantern surface of some fireflies form a corrugated pattern, somewhat like overlapping shingles or tiles. The scales tilt up at one end by just 3 micrometers, less than 1/20th the thickness of a human hair. Yet this tiny tilt lets the lantern shine almost 15% more brightly than it would if the scales formed an even surface.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so again, okay, when we talked about roofing, okay, roofs have what we call, well, some roofs have what we call shingles or tiles, and they overlap. All right, so it's not just a flat surface. So these shingles overlap, just like you see here in the picture. Do you see that? How the scales overlap each other? Okay, now it says here that uh, it how much is the tilt? Okay, the tilt is the angle. Okay, look, it says that the scales tilt up at one end by just 3 micrometers. Okay, now unless you're a scientist, you may not think about micrometers. Okay, but look at your hair. Look at a strand of your hair. Okay, it's not very thick. All right. Okay, now it says here that you're gonna take, it's less than 1/20th of the thickness of your hair. All right, so it's just tilted. These scales are tilted just a little bit. That's it. All right, so that's why it says here tiny. This tiny tilt. Okay, so instead of saying a little, we use a synonym which means even smaller than a little, tiny, a tiny tilt. Okay, and what is the effect? What is the effect of this tiny tilt on the light? Okay, what effect does it have? I'm going to highlight it here. This is a key part.
Could you share this article, Carissa? Could you share this article to, because there are a lot of new vocabulary for me, and I would like to investigate all of words.
Sure, I can do that. Okay, I'm going to make a note of that, and I'll share it with you as soon as, just right before we end our class today.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Okay, so it says here that the lanterns shine almost 50% more brightly than if the scales formed an even surface. Now that is amazing. Just a tiny tilt produces a 50% increase in the brightness of the light. Wow, that's amazing. All right, now let's go ahead and finish the article to see just why that's important to us. Okay, all right, so good. We had Danielle, we had Victor. All right, let's go to Espartaco. Espartaco, can you read the last paragraph for us?
Of course. Could that concept improve the efficiency of light emitting diodes LED, which are used in electronic devices? To find out, scientists coated LED with a corrugated surface similar to that of the Firefly's lantern. The result, the LED emitted up to 55% more light phases, and they says the most important aspect of this work is that it shows how much we can learn by carefully observing nature.
Very good. Okay, nice job with your reading, Espartaco. All right. Now, there were just a couple of words. Okay, out of all of the words that you read, there were just 3 that I just want to go back and work on the pronunciation. Okay. All right. So the first word is efficiency.
Efficiency.
Right. Efficiency.
Efficiency.
Good. And the second word is pronounced diodes. Diodes.
Diodes.
Okay, and the third word is used.
Used.
Very good, used. Okay, so
What I said. Used.
Use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Used.
Yeah. Good. Used. Okay. So now, can you read that first question again for me, starting with could?
I don't know.
You can do it.
Maybe. I don't know.
You can do it. Okay. All
Uh,
right. Okay.
how many percent emit?
No. Okay. Just read the first question again for me.
The read. Okay. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
And could the concept improve the efficiency
Efficiency?
efficiency uh, of light emitting diodes LED, which are used in electronic device?
Okay. Okay. Pretty good. Okay. So again, those words are efficiency,
Efficiency, yes.
diodes.
Diodes.
Diodes and used. Very good. Good job. Okay, now, so according to this last paragraph, okay, Arthur, how can scientists use what they learned from this firefly to help improve the quality of LED devices?
Well, they can change the surface of LED and have the same effect, getting 50 or 55% more light.
Okay, all right, very good. And it's interesting, with this slight change, you get better quality. All right. And what did this physicist, Anik Bey, observe? What was her conclusion, or his conclusion?
His conclusion was that we should observe nature and use the decisions or constructions that was evolved during evolution in our well,
Okay, I'm sorry. I think I was waiting for you to
yeah.
finish. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so you can looking at nature, carefully observing nature, not just looking at it. Okay, but look at the language that's used here. Carefully observing nature. Okay, you notice details like the surface of a firefly's lantern, how it's corrugated, and that it has a tiny tilt that allows you to produce more light. All right, now that's very interesting. Now, this is something that if you have children, this is a great family activity, okay, as you're walking along, to really stop and take a look even at little tiny creatures and be able to explain to them some of these wonders of nature and how we can use them. All right, excellent job here with your reading. Okay, so just once again, some of the vocabulary that we got: efficiency, diodes, carefully observing, tiny tilt, overlapping shingles or tiles. Okay. I think someone asked about getting this article. Was there any one word in particular that you found that was very new for you? Maybe we can use that word. Was there any one word in particular that caught your attention?
A lot of words.
A lot of words. Okay. All right. Very good. And you know, this is one reason why reading is so good in the language that you want to learn, because you're constantly finding words. And one thing I like to do is make sure that I look those words up in the dictionary, and then I can try to use them in sentences, my own sentences. All right. Very good. Okay, guys, we have time for just one more article, okay? And we're going to take a look at one more little tiny creature, okay? All right, so this little butterfly is called the painted lady, She's got an interesting name. And you can see why she's called the Painted Lady. She's beautifully painted with beautiful colors. All right, now there is a mystery associated with the Painted Lady. All right, let's find out what that mystery is. Okay, Arthur, you're up. Okay, please read the first paragraph for us.
Okay. European observers have long admired colorful painted lady butterflies, Vanessa Cardulli, and have wondered what happened to them at the end of each summer. Do they simply perish with the onset of cold weather? Fresh research reveals an extraordinary story. The butterflies make an annual journey between northern Europe and Africa.
Okay, so let me show you the map so you can see their route. Okay, now that is a long journey and they do it every year. Okay, it mentions here an annual journey. Okay, very clear reading, Arthur. Excellent job. Great pronunciation of your words. Okay, all right, let's go back to Danielle. Danielle, can you please take the next paragraph for us?
Researchers combined results from sophisticated radar with thousands of sightings reported by volunteers across Europe. The results revealed that as the summer ends, millions of painted lady butterflies migrate south, mostly flying at an altitude of more than 1,600 feet (500 meters), therefore hardly ever seen by humans. The butterflies wait for favorable winds, which they ride at an average speed of 28 miles per hour (45 km/h) on the long trip to Africa.
Please continue.
Their annual migration is up to 9,300 miles (15,000 kilometers) long, beginning from as far north as the fringes of the Arctic and terminating as far south as tropical West Africa. The trip is almost double that of the North American monarch butterfly. It takes 6 successive generations of painted ladies to complete the round trip.
Okay, beautiful job with your reading. All right, now I'm just going to go back up to the top just for a second. I just want to mention just a couple of words. Overall, your reading was very clear and easy to understand. You have a very good reading pace, Danielle. Okay, now they're just 2 words and they both have an ed ending. Okay, the first word is combined. Combined. And this, very good. Okay, and the second word is revealed.
Revealed.
Very good. Okay, revealed. All right, now the third it's not really a word, or the number that I have highlighted. Okay, what is that number again, Danielle?
1,600.
There you go, 1,600. You could say 1,600 or you could say 1,600.
Okay.
Either one of those is just fine. Okay, good. So 1,600 or 1,600?
More easy, 1,600.
Very good, 1,600. Okay, the same thing here with, you mentioned 9,300. That's correct. You could also say 9,300.
9,300.
Okay. All right, very good. Excellent job with your reading there, Danielle. Okay, and let's take our last we have last 2 paragraphs. Okay, let's go back to Victor. I'll have you continue with the professor paragraph, and then we'll have a Spartacle finish with the last paragraph.
Professor Jane Hill of the University of York in England explains, "The painted lady just keeps going, breeding and moving. Annually, those steps take the whole population from northern Europe to Africa and back again. This tiny creature, weighing less than a gram, with a brain the size of a pinhead and no opportunity to learn from older, experienced individuals, undertakers an epic intercontinental migration. States Richard Fox, survives manager at Butterfly Conservation. This insect was once thought to be blindly led, at the mercy of the wind, into an evolutionary death end in the lethal British winter. Fox adds, yet this study has shown painted ladies to be sophisticated travelers.
Okay, very, very interesting. Okay, all right, excellent job with your reading. Now, there are just two words that I want to mention. Okay, the first word that I have highlighted in blue is weighing. Weighing. Uh-huh. All right, yeah, that the E-I-G-H just sounds like a, weighing. Right, and then the second word is experienced. Experienced. Yes. Very good. Excellent job. All right. So let's ask just maybe one or two questions about this painted lady. Okay. So Danielle, what did you find interesting about the painted lady?
How can the painting lady don't get lost in a long trip?
Okay, so let's say here how the painted lady doesn't get lost
without GPS.
That's right. She doesn't have.
Incredible.
Yeah, it sounds like she can be a little bit wittier than even some of us, and she doesn't have the brain size that we do. Okay, so how does she do it? How is she able to make this annual journey between Europe and Africa? Who can explain that to me? How can she do that?
Maybe following the magnet lines. I don't know. Magnet line from the north to the south. I don't know.
Okay, that's true. Okay, that could be. All right, now here's a key part here. I'm going to highlight it in blue. Okay, so part of your reading comprehension is to be able to isolate key points. Okay, so here it is.
Okay. Wait for favorable winds.
Favorable winds.
Yeah.
If you're small, it would take a lot of energy for the butterfly to flap its wings the whole time from on this long journey. So it waits for the winds. And how fast can the butterfly travel if it waits for favorable winds?
Yeah, but where do they wait?
Where do they wait? I'm sure there are clearly marked signs somewhere that say favorable winds. I'm not sure.
And the butterfly stop?
There must be a butterfly stop. Let's say that it's an ancient family secret. Well, that sounds like a research question. So if you would like to investigate that, the very next time I see you in class, I'd love for you to tell me. That would be great. Very good, guys. Well, that's going to do it for our lesson for today. I really enjoyed listening to your reading today, guys. And this was, as I mentioned, it's a medium level reading. It's not too easy, but it wasn't terribly difficult either. You got to read numbers, some scientific terms, some Latin terms, some measurements as well, and you were able to understand the basic concept or gist of the information. All right, very good. Okay, the source of this magazine, as you can see at the top of each of the articles, it has the name Awake in it. That's the name of the magazine. And I'll give you the website that you can go on to find even past issues of this magazine. All right, the website that I go to is called jw.org. And under their magazine section, you can look for the magazine Awake. They always have very interesting articles about nature and about other interesting topics as well. All right, so there it is in the chat box for you. All right, very good. Well, thanks, guys, for coming into class. I do appreciate your hard work and participation. Look for me for future classes, and if you'd like to schedule a one-on-one class, you can do that right on the Verbling website. Have a great day or evening, everyone, and enjoy your lunch and dinner. I'm going to go have breakfast.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Carissa.
You're welcome.
See you.
Okay, bye-bye.